Like leader for the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, like Yoruba Nation agitator Sunday Igboho, the trial for both men will resume today, one in Abuja, one outside the shores of Nigeria, and in a Beninese court. For Sunday Igboho, the Nigerian government seeks his extradition. His legal counsels have their hands full trying to stop this, while a Beninese court sitting in Cotonou is asking the Nigerian government to provide whatever evidence it has against him. Meanwhile, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Saliu Adetunji, has sent a delegation to Cotonou to observe the proceedings of today's court case involving Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho was declared wanted early this month after his home was raided by operatives of the Department of State Services. Now, the Nigerian government is accusing him of allegedly trafficking in arms and inciting violence capable of causing social disturbance. Joining me right now is rights activist and political analyst Razak Ulukoba, as well as public affairs analyst Dotun Ojon. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
On TVC Breakfast. Very good to have you gentlemen here. Now, I believe we have been following this case and developments. We saw the proceedings that happened on Friday, and, you know, the second proceeding will be happening today for Sunday Igboho at the Beninese court. And the issue, like we pointed out, is that he is being accused of inciting violence that could result in social disturbance and causing disunity in Nigeria, and then also alleged to have been illegal trafficking in arms. And his legal team were unable to convince the prosecutor that their clients had no case to answer on Friday, and we're wondering if they will be able to do that today. But before then, can Nigeria justify the extradition of Sunday Igboho himself, looking at the fact that, as many have said, there is no case against him, there is nothing legally to show that he has a case to answer, basically?
Well, let's start like a political analyst and political scientist. First and foremost, Sunday Igboho knew that he's going to go to this point. As someone agitating for his people, he knew. He knew? You think he would know as an agitator? If you read history, you might have looked at the experience of other people. When you do this kind of thing, it's likely to get to this point, and you have several alternatives available to him. And the government also knew that once they have gone to his house, security analysts will have put it on the table to dissect it. That he has two options. It's either you go underground or you flee the country and continue his agitation. So it's normal for Sunday Igboho either he use a password that is not his name, either he use his own password, got it through another means.
But his counsel is saying that he didn't acquire an illegal passport, that he had the Nigerian passport.
What scenario? What scenario?
But that he went to Cotonou, that's Republic of Benin, through the back door, which he agreed.
That's what I'm saying, that those are ingredients of this kind of struggle. And it is not new to anybody.
Right.
It's only been young people who talk on social media that they have to go and, if you want to participate in politics, you have to go and read about political history very well. Fide did it. Mandela did it. Thabo Mbeki was with us in Nigeria when he was doing similar thing in South Africa. How did he get there? He didn't use South African passport. So it is part of the procedure for struggle. And the government knew that he may want to leave the country. So what Benin's government will know in their own mind is that it's bigger than whether someone has used their own passport or not. It's bigger than that. The negotiation going on now is what we must focus on. Nigeria may have a lot of good negotiators, because what did we negotiate with Kenya that brought Kanu back? It's not two legamies. And Sunday Igboho we should also realize that when it comes to issues like this, the question of international law may be deficient. We have to bear that in mind already, so that if you want to accommodate the question of law, there must be preparation for it to know that it may be brought back. What Benin's government is just waiting for is for Nigeria to speak the right language, the proper concession that they made. Countries will negotiate. When someone wants to, in the 50s, there are people that were called the Mayweathers. They were crushed by the American government. And Nigeria will cite that example if we are to be America that is doing this, like Benin Republic. British government will also do that. You remember what they did to the Scottish leader? The same thing. the island, Irish leaders, people. So we have to prepare the mind of Nigerians that what is happening is normal procedure for, and the government knows what they are doing too. They have analyzed this. They know that it is going to come to this. They will want to bring him back by any means necessary, any means possible. Any government in the world will want to do that.
Legal or illegal.
They will want to bring them back.
And
we
knowing that
our mind.
The international community is watching, stemming from what happened from Nnamdi Kanu's case.
Or what has come to that? Have you been sanctioned about that? I'm talking like a political scientist now. I'm not talking as if I'm a legal person. I'm not talking like as a lawyer. So, for anybody, our right were denied during the military. The question of right will be suspended. So, when it comes to breaking up of Nigeria too, some rights, Nigerian government will suspend some rights. So, if you are interested in joining the locomotion that is going on, you have to prepare your mind that a right you may no longer have. So, and for Sunday Igboho to attempt to go out with that passport, it's a normal procedure. That he has broken any law, he's trying to smuggle out. What will he have done? So two things are available to him. It's either he will go underground, or he will try to flee the country to continue his campaign. So we are still passing through some historical process that is not strange to people like us who follow political trend in the country. Let's
come to you now, Dr. Wanjo. What do you see, or what do you think could happen, and what concerns do you have with the way government is handling this case, bearing in mind that the international community is watching as well?
I just want us to suspend the aspect of the international community watching, because that has always been the phrase, and it has not really generated anything significantly positive when it comes to issues like this. I think the major issue, because philosophically in Yoruba land, they say a wise man may be forgiven for a lot of things, but not when he forgets when the rain starts beating him. So as a nation, I think the first question we should ask ourselves is, how did we get here in the first place? We should not have been talking about Igboho. Igboho should not be on the front pages of our newspapers today if the basic things have been done from the very beginning. There's this issue of insecurity that crept into the community. And government must get to a point where they will understand that project execution is not more important than perception of activities. So when you are executing a project, for example, and in your mind you are thinking, I am doing well, you must also understand the place of perception. People have the perception of this government when it comes to uniting the nation is really very bad. A lot of people think that the government is not doing enough to unite the people. And when insecurity crept in, let's do the analysis from 2015. When President Buhari came on board, he tackled Boko Haram. At least in 2015, there were phrases of technical defeat and all that. But everybody saw that 2015, there was actually a huge blow that was dealt on Boko Haram. You will remember Ezazaki, who was causing a bit of an issue within his community. The government went after him. But when it came to the issue of herdsmen attack in the south, the government did not do much. This is what led us to where we are. So the injustice in the community was a major factor that I think we cannot just be addressing some of this issue without asking ourselves this basic question, how did we get here? So it's not even a matter of whether Sunday Igboho is brought back to Nigeria or not. What the strategy of strike the shepherd, the sheep will scatter, has always been the same model that government is operating. And they've forgotten that when you strike the shepherd today, if the sheep scatter, what happens tomorrow? The sheep can decide to actually regroup and continue with whatever agitation. So if you do not cure the perceived injustice in the system, then we may just continue to have some of this crisis in the community.
So for you, whichever way it goes today, it does not really address the core of what brought us to where we are as it is.
It does not. And at the end of the day, don't let us lie to ourselves. Government will be the beneficiary in the entire process. Like we were saying off camera, two things like my Mr. Razak actually made clear at the very beginning. And I said two ways that he talked about. At the end of the day, we favor the government. The first is that if Sunday Igboho goes on the ground, that may mean a temporary suspension of the agitation. Temporary. Now they have so connected the neighboring communities that if he tries to go abroad, that's the major issue. If he goes abroad, the agitation may continue because he will continue to speak from the other side of the world.
Which and government may not
really want. So, like you said, the right language is economic benefit here and there. So once the government, for example, speaks the right language of maybe opening the border wide, of some concessions here and there, then the Beninese government will not have a choice. You know that majority of these countries around us depend heavily on our economy. So at the end of the day, government will may be the greatest beneficiary in all this. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure it will all go well for the entire nation.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of agitations will come out of here. You see, don't let us lie. This is the first time for you, if you've been a student of politics, at least from 1999 to now, this is the first time that the entire governors in the South are coming to speak one language, irrespective of their political parties. APC members are there, PDP are there. So the first time, everybody is concerned about the future of the country, but they will not come out. But Nigeria has got to a point now where no zone can afford not to have a person like Igboho, because they think that some zones are actually lording over some other zones. So they may not come on television the same way I'm coming out to say, oh, we are supporting Igboho, but dig deep into their heart. Dig deep into their heart, and you see whether they are supporting some of these agitations or not. They will not come out. He has been campaigning all over the community. He even got to a palace, I will not mention the name of the Oba, and he said he received a call from the governor that morning. He wasn't lying. So, but these people will not be able to come out. But I tell you that this is the first time that even the governors are concerned.
Yeah, we heard one of the governors, I think over the weekend, saying that they are doing, some governors and individuals are doing things privately to see what can be done at the end of the day to addressing this issue. But what language, let me come to you, Razak, do you think that the government will be speaking now that might interest the Benin government?
So when it comes to relationship between two governments, they don't factor individuals. That's the bitter truth. When Kanu was brought back to Nigeria, the whole question of whether Kanu's rights have a right to move around the country was no longer brought on board. It was there for, the lawyer said it was there for 7 days. And after being interrogated for 7 days, confirmed whether it's part of Al-Shabaab or not, it was brought back to Nigeria. Do you think if they had respected, they won't allow me to go back to UK? So Nigeria will speak the language Benin government understand. That's the basic truth. For some of our people in Yoruba land, we must know what the agitation is into, so that we brace up for it. The language is that you are a nation, I'm a nation. Will you want your nation to go in pieces? Do you know the implication Nigeria will have if it goes into fire? So these are languages that nations will understand that, okay, I'm a nation. Even the British government, they will tell them the implication of Nigeria breaking up. They will tell America the implication of Nigeria breaking up. So it is left to the movement, its own organization, the both organization, to be able to analyze to a point where we convince the entire world that what I'm leading, the process I'm leading, is genuine and is in the interest of Nigeria. And like we have always been saying that all over the world, Nigeria is being combated with a simultaneous insecurity issue that is, all countries in the world are not witnessing it. We are witnessing terrorism, banditry, agitation for breakup, herdsmen, only in Nigeria. And that's dangerous for, so that when anything happens in Nigeria, there will be no capacity for Nigerian government to address it, because it's going to be a multifaceted issue, crisis. Are you going to talk to herdsmen? And the danger is that if you push it further than this, something bad may happen. I don't know wish it to happen.
When you say push further than this,
if you suspend, if the government delays doing the right thing further than this, if there are arms in all the regions already, and people have the armor watching to move in at the right moment, Nigerian military are doing their best. They are dying every day. I watched a documentary on TV yesterday of our Nigerian soldiers, the one with amputated leg, the one who have lost one eye, and I felt sober for our guys dying every day. And like my colleague have said, what do we do that is the right thing? There is no region.
Treating it from the root.
There is no region that is not aggrieved. There is no region that is not aggrieved with Nigeria. So I say that I am a pro-Buhari person. The moral responsibility of telling the president lie on us who are his supporter. And what is it to do is that the president should reprofile his solutions to Nigerian problem. He has to repackage it. He has to understand that, did I hate Mr. President? If I voted, will have affected him. So anybody that is speaking the language I'm speaking and didn't hate Mr. President, they just want him to see the truth. And for people who are surrounding him, particularly our security agent, the president must be able to scold them to profile any solutions properly for him. Any language about restructuring, they profile in such a way that these are enemies of Mr. President. Nobody's an enemy of Mr. President. We are just saying that we must run in Nigeria in such a way that it won't plot our president against us. The way we run Nigeria now, every Nigerian will hold our president responsible for calamity and what we are passing from. Okay, look at it from 1999. Tell me a president that is not being embarrassed out of office. Jonathan, Obasanjo, Yaradua. Now it's come to Buhari now. The kind of law people have for Buhari, the president should then understand that something is wrong with this system. Why is it that at the tail end of each administration, this is always the picture. Right. Obasanjo at the tail end, this is the picture. Jonathan at the tail end, this is the picture. My own, this is the picture. You should know that there's something wrong with it. And like the rest of the world will be looking at us, that nothing was out. You know how many people have British visa, American visa? You know, we are the 7th most populated country in the world. So absolutely. No country, that's negotiation. No country will want to risk a Nigeria crisis. Benin Republic will not want to risk. And that's what they are weighing already. That once the government speaks the language of, okay, weighing this, okay, if you don't want to do this, what can you do for us? What can you do for us? Right. So it may not be a legal issue. It's a political issue. So right. the lawyer must speak more of a political language than being a legal issue. Language.
All right. Finally, your final word on this matter.
My final word is I'm just going to take two components of character of leadership, which is a major concern for a major burden on this government. Character of leadership, the first C there means care for all. That's carrying everybody along. Ability to do for your enemy what you can do for your friend. Ability to do to your friend what you can do to your enemy. So carrying everybody along, I think this administration lacks that. The second component is humility. Humility is not the dobale kind of thing that we know in Yoruba land. When it comes to the concept of leadership, humility is ability to take opinions that are not necessarily supporting you. This government has what I call political arrogance, that when people are talking solution, they think people are attacking them. And if we continue like this, I'm not sure we're going to get out of these issues.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your contribution. Political analyst and rights activist Razak Olukoba, as well as public affairs analyst Dr. Wanjo. Thank you for speaking with us.
It's a pleasure being with you.